Hello, listeners. This is Rehan Zukhi back with the fourth episode of the podcast, and you are listening to the Eerie Nights with Rehan. The time now is around 11:30, I guess. I literally get goosebumps while I record these episodes because I record them in a completely closed room with an isolated atmosphere. And you know how it is like. So let's start today's story, and today's story is taken from the same page, Quora. It is shared by Ishika Roy. Let's start. Yes, both of you can have it. But after that, please don't create ruckus at the house and sit down to study. Maya Didi told us. We ate the ice cream and sat down to study. There were three of us in the house me, my cousin, and Maya Didi. Maya used to help my mom in household chores. Our household is far from the city, approximately 5 kilometers. The area is surrounded with three trees and thick bushes, accompanied by a pond which is dried up and looks creepy at any time of the day. Honestly, we were at peace. No pollution, no disturbance. But the main thing was that Maya was behaving strange since last few days. She would talk to herself, make strange noises, and laugh hysterically at night. Lights would go off at exactly 3:30 in the night. We ignored all of these at first. Parents were busy and they would spend most of the time in the city. So I was the only one who used to be here whole day after school hours. My life was already shitty. Studies, peer pressure, poor academic performance, etc. So I chose to ignore her. My only solace was my elder cousin Arav, who was here with me on his vacations. It was evening. Arav and I were gossiping. Parents were out of station as usual. That is when we asked Maya about the ice cream and whether we can get some. We studied together and soon it was night. We had dinner and then all of us went off to sleep. I was sleeping with Arav in my room. It was on the first floor. Maya was in the kitchen, which is on the ground floor. We slept. I had a bad dream. I woke up at the middle of the night. 3:30, lights were out, as usual. But then suddenly I heard a scream, low but high pitched. It was enough to give me goosebumps. Arav was sleeping peacefully, so I woke him up. We again heard that. It was louder this time, but both of us were drenched in sweat. Arav decided to go and check. I refused. Honestly, I was too afraid to even get off from the bed, but Arav was adamant and I was too afraid to even let him go alone. So we did hold each other's hands and started getting down the stairs. Very slowly, we headed towards the kitchen. Until then, I was blind with tears. It was so crazy, we started looking for Maya. Arav was brave enough to call her name. Maya Didi, he called out. No response. Deadly silence. As we were heading towards the kitchen, I felt as if someone is there behind us. I turned around, but no one was there. Suddenly, we saw something. It was there on the couch. We started moving towards it. Fortunately, we had our torches with us. We switched it on and then I saw the most dreaded thing of my life. It was her. Her face was burnt, hair was scattered and her eyes turned completely black. We shouted as loud as we could and ran upstairs. I was too shocked to run. It was Arav who kind of dragged me. We went inside my room and bolted the door. I hugged him tight and was on the verge of crying. Footsteps started approaching us. I decided to call my parents. So we started searching frantically for the phone. As we were searching, I could feel a sudden coldness in the room temperature. Dogs were howling abnormally. Sound of footsteps increased. I could hear the sound of my heartbeats. We could sense it was Maya. I was continuously crying. Then someone banging our door as if it was trying to break that. I was completely dumb. At that moment, I heard something. Honking of a car. It seemed familiar. Yes, Papa, I shouted out. I ran towards the window. Yes, it's them. Till then, the banging had stopped. I looked at Arav. He was breathing heavily. Her parents came and rescued us. Maya was found unconscious. We sent her to her village after she became normal. After a few months, we got to know that she was possessed and is dead. So this was the story, which was indeed one of the most spookiest which I've ever narrated. Guys, in the next podcast, I will be narrating my paranormal experiences after I started recording these podcasts. Always remember, guys, science doesn't hold explanation for everything. It's not always important that an incident occurring in the nature should be justified by science to prove it to be correct. That was all for today, guys. If you have a story to share with me, you can DM me on Insta at REHANZUKHI, Rehan Zukhi, and I will be glad to narrate your experience on a podcast. Let's meet the next week with some more eerie tales. Until then, be spooked, be happy, stay safe, because you never know what's coming.